wow, don't know if I feel like doing this, but I want to try and get in a routine, so I'm going to do it. If you have heart failure, congestive heart failure, CHF, one of the things that you quickly learn is how badly fluid builds up. Managing fluid retention is a big part of managing this disease. And today, in the last several days, I have been struggling with it. I mean, it's showing up today really bad, where my feet hurt, it kicks my neuropathy up, my body feels swollen, I feel lethargic, the breathing is harder, and it just gets difficult to function in the day. I mean, it just exhausts me quicker than I normally am. But that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about, because when I had my last therapy session, my therapist was asking how it was going, and I'm like, oh, do you really want to know? Do you want to ask that question? Because that's a loaded gun, so to speak. In many ways, all these things just make it so difficult for me to function in a day. I've got that. I've got diabetes. I've got high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I've got, I can't even think of all, diabetic retinopathy, macular edema, and I'm losing vision. So my whole life is all about adjusting to all this newness, and I can't go and do stuff like I want to. I can't get out as easy. I get tired easily. And so it just gets to the point where, I don't know, very frustrated. It really gets wearing on me. My depression kicks up. My mental health takes a big hit. Self-care is much more difficult to do. I do find ways to do self-care, but again, I get exhausted easy. So, a lot of days my self-care looks different than other people, most likely. But I was telling my therapist, I said, it feels like my life is over. And then I stopped for a second. I told her, I said, this may not sound right, saying I feel like my life is over, but in a lot of ways, it feels that way. And I said, okay, now I need to back up a minute, because the proper, I don't know if proper is the right word, but the more healthy, more helpful way for me to put that is, my life as I knew it is over. It's gone. It's no longer here. It doesn't exist. Everything that I used to be able to do is now completely different from what I see, what I can read, what I can physically go walk or go do, or if I can go outside with the bright sunlight, or driving, or getting to stores, walking around in stores, seeing items on stores, seeing my husband's face, trying to cook, trying to find spices in a cabinet, trying to find stuff in a refrigerator, remembering things, cognitively sometimes thinking through things, that's been reduced. Even taking a shower can get exhausting. Finding time to do it, because I end up taking multiple naps during the day. So everything that I know is no longer like it was. Even people that I knew and I talked to in person, they've exited, they've went. I can't get them to stay in touch. I have to beg them to even say hello back. And some days I would rather just talk to somebody about something other than the hell I live with. So, when I think about overcoming challenges, my butt's getting kicked right now. And it's hard for me to think that my life isn't over, at the very least, my life as I knew it isn't over. And when I say those words, that's not good for the depression and the mind that wants to go, I want to just check out. And I really struggle and have to fight against my thoughts going down too far that way because, whew, that's a slippery slope and it'll go quickly. So I really guard against my mind. When it starts doing that, I try and at least express it. If nothing else, I express it to the air or my dog or a tree. Because our society is built around the fact that if you say you're thinking about suicide, or you're thinking about ending life, or you don't feel like you have enough reason to live, people are like, oh my God, don't do that, oh my God, don't, and go Baker act you. And when sometimes you just need to be able to freaking say those words. Sometimes that's all it takes for me, is just to acknowledge it. Sorry if I got a little animated there, but I do. I mean, it just bugs me to no end that we live in a society where people can't openly talk about it. I know it makes others feel scared. They don't know what to do, and it makes them feel, like they have to tell the person what they should do. Sometimes that person just needs to know somebody will listen and care and have compassion and empathy. That's it. Sometimes that's it. But I digress. I know I went off on a tangent there. But the challenges get very tough some days. And so when we're talking about it, and I was talking about it with my therapist about feeling like some days my life is over, I have to start reminding myself of what's good. And right now, that gets very hard to find. But for me, it's my husband. I love him and he loves me. And we've been together we met in 1999. I can't do the math, but we've been together for a long time. And we've had our ups and downs. We've recently gone through some ups and downs, and I think we're back to working together. And this, my stuff impacts him as much as it impacts me. I know it. I see it. But we're learning how to kind of work through that. So he's kind of my steady point of love and compassion and empathy, and I wouldn't want to give him up for anything. My dog and my cat are next in line. Just their eyes looking up at me as if you're the best thing we've seen since we've known anything on this earth. Those eyes just, they melt me. They give me joy. They give me comfort. They give me love. And my cat is a little bit more reserved, but stays very close to me. His name is Onyx, and he has this little squeaky meow that when he does it to me, it's just like, you just can't help but smile and feel the love. Simba, my dog, he's an 11-month-old golden retriever, and he stays close to me, and he's always wagging that tail when I talk to him. He's just like so excited to be with me, and any attention I show him, he loves it. He loves to lick my ears. He'll lick my face. I don't care. I've worked around animals so much. I'm an animal person. I could care less if he licks me. He's a wonderful dog, and I'm glad I have him. So, those things help ground me back, and I'm glad I have them. I used to be able to go out and walk in nature more, which really helped. That's much more difficult. I am trying to at least walk Simba a short distance every day. I can't go very far. I listen to books sometimes to kind of help let me escape this, because when I feel like life's over or things are really getting really bad, then it's like I need to step out of myself for a moment without losing reality. And sometimes listening to my audiobooks helps, or sometimes watching a YouTube video or playing a game on my iPad, something just to allow my brain to think about something else besides the shit that I'm in. Oh, and that's why I say sometimes if you're around somebody that is struggling, you don't have to solve their problems. There's probably nothing you can say or do most of the time that can solve those. They probably come up with a million different things that they've tried. The best thing you can do is sit there and just let them know you care. Let them know you've got empathy and compassion and love, and you're listening. You're holding this, what I call holding the space. I used to really do this with clients when I did body work, was I would hold the space. Sometimes that meant putting my hands on somebody. Sometimes that meant holding their hand. Sometimes that meant letting them cry. Sometimes that just meant being there as their lookout, their protection, while they just let go for a minute. Too often, everybody thinks they have to solve the problem. They have to give you something. They have to tell you what to do. They have to give you advice. Most of the time, that stuff just is irritating personally to me. And I know it is to others, because you're not walking in my shoes. You're not qualified. You've not had any experience with what I'm going through. So the best thing I need is God just to sit with me, just to hold the space, or talk to me about what your kid's done. Talk to me about what you saw outside. Tell me what you're seeing outside currently. I saw a butterfly. I saw a bird. I heard a bird flying. I heard a bird chirping. I heard, whatever it is. The wind's blowing and the trees are rustling. Just something different. And I'm trying to do those things individually, because when it feels like my life is over, I've got to go back to those things that ground me and hold me to this earth, because it gets tougher than hell to go through this. So hopefully this helps a little bit if you're trying to overcome challenges, or you're around somebody that's dealing with enormous challenges and you don't know what to do, and they're struggling and you're struggling because of that. Hopefully some of this will help. I'm going to keep sharing, try to regularly doing this. But for the moment, from my heart to yours, I send love, compassion, empathy, caring, and any strength that I have extra to give to you. May you have a wonderful day, evening, or whenever you're watching this. And may this just help give you just a little bit more hope for another day. Love you all that are watching this. Care for you. And let me know how it impacts you.